Now, also in the Seaside, California video, you said at 1 hour and 38 minutes that you told them and they corrected you yourself and said, and you corrected, you told people about the gun. The guy asked you uh in that interview about you taking the guns away from security. And you sit there and say, yeah, I told him, I mean, uh the lawyer, he told him this, that. You sat there and said, I told him to, and then changed it up and put it on the lawyer. But it don't even matter. Because in the grand jury, you say, I told him or he told him. I can't remember. What you always do when you know you did something and you don't want to own it, you'll act like you don't remember if it was you or it was somebody else. That's one of your flaws that you do on the internet all the time that we see, or at least I see, right? Then you go on to say you told only the ones who would work in the club 662 that they can't have their guns. However, you sent Michael Moore over there to the club because he wouldn't give his gun up. So if you didn't want nobody at the club with no guns and you knew Michael Moore wasn't giving up his gun, why did you send Michael Moore to the club and not let him stay with Tupac? Why did you even care if he wanted to be with Tupac? Why did you take him off of Tupac? Tupac got beef with the East Coast. Tupac, the Mall Paru got beef with the Southside Crips, according to y'all, because some of y'all, most of y'all say there was no beef. But we're going to believe your lies anyway. We're going to act like y'all was at war. So when Southside came to Vegas, you didn't think that with the East Coast, West Coast beef that Suge and Pac didn't need no security as head of security? Yeah, we stupid. The biggest rapper in the world out on bail. Beef with just got shot, everything. Suge then had issues with people. They out in Vegas, and security, the head of security, got 25 to 26 guys on duty for that week, and not one goddamn police officer, off-duty cop with the entourage at the label. Not one. And you got 20-some cops out there that weekend, and you don't have no cops on Tupac. And you can't say, oh, well, that's because he fired me. Suge is the boss. You was doing label security, not personal security for Tupac. You didn't want any guns in the club, but you put Michael Moore on the register knowing he had his gun. Then you said you fell out with Frank Alexander because the FBI got to him and told him to duck the subpoena so he didn't have to testify in Suge probation trial. Really? Now the feds told Frank to duck the subpoena so he wouldn't have to testify in Suge's little probation trial. Really? Really, Reggie? And then he goes, and that's why I got mad at Fred. Frank, I was young at the time, but yeah, I threatened him because the threats are on audio. He recorded you threatening him, so you're only confessing to it because it's public knowledge. Oh yeah, I only threatened him because I was young, nigga. You wasn't young. You meant every goddamn thing you said in your threats, allegedly. So you started making threats of Frank, and you chalking it up to you were young. Okay. Somebody should have been threatening your ass because it's your negligence that got Tupac killed. They got 25 cops on a payroll out there in Vegas, and not one goddamn cop with Suge or Tupac. But remember this also. How the F would he know it was Orlando? He was
investigating and get involved, they hear about this Reggie Wright that's over security, who wasn't there, but he contacted them, and they talked. I'm talking about the investigator, not the patrol guys, and they wanted to get information about the shooting. Well, gang culture, you don't talk to the police, you don't give up that information. So Reggie, the kids, the guys that were in the entourage, the other cars and stuff that uh, uh, eventually chased the shooters off and chased after them, the police wanted to get their story, but you don't talk, and you should probably wasn't going to allow him to talk. So when they heard that Reggie Wright was over security and he talked to him and he couldn't get them to come and talk to the police, well, Reggie Wright is taboo, or he's part of it or something. I'm getting involved because Reggie is calling me, knowing that I know about all this, and it's going to come back to the city. Like getting to your original question, he called me and started telling me, "Hey, man, there was Orlando and them behind this. They got in a fight because they saw the chain, saw Orlando, and all that." He says, "But it's them." So I'm into that right now. So I start trying to call that night, 2 o'clock in the morning, uh, as the lieutenant. I start calling Los.
He started calling 2 in the morning. He started calling 2 in the morning. Right? Now, just to prove to you that what I'm saying is a fact, and I don't know why this guy hasn't been picked up yet, because I honestly starting to believe that maybe they are trying to protect the police. But let me show you, right? Just to show y'all that I'm consistent with what I say. You know what I'm saying? This is why they still laughing at her brother. Right? Now look, right here, here's the transcript from Seaside when Reggie Sr. was there, right? Look at this. Reggie Sr., about what was happening on your end when you were getting this information, and you're relaying back to the locals. Okay, I don't know exactly what time it was because he woke me up. I was asleep, but at some point in all of this, what they call it, Tupac was out in Vegas. Somebody claimed that I was out in Vegas. I was the one. I wasn't the one standing next to somebody. It was all a mess, but I was at home sleep. He woke me up. Reggie Wright Jr. woke up Reggie Wright Sr. It told me, hey, Tupac just got shot. And it shook me. It just happened a little while ago. See what I'm saying? It just happened a little while ago. Southside, and he started telling me the players that he was hearing were involved. Orlando Anderson, and about the chain attempted to be snatched at the MGM. So I immediately said, okay, if they involved, I immediately started calling our Vegas PD, identify myself as Lieutenant Reginald Wright from the Compton PD, and I have some information to give the investigators. Well, they spent about 10 or 15 minutes. They finally came back and said, well, he's not available, Lieutenant, and something suffered. So I said, okay. I had some information about an hour or two after that. My Chiefs called me that Las Vegas contacted them at home, and I told them that Reginald Wright was trying to get involved in the investigation, and they didn't want any information from me because I had another Reginald Wright that was out there who was Reggie that wasn't talking to, I guess, the main investigator. Where Reggie had someone he was talking to, but they felt as though they couldn't trust the information, so they shut it and shut me down. From that point on, it went on from there and through this whole process. Right? So I just want to go to my point right here that Reggie told his father not once, that has his father stated this publicly, but twice right here that I showed you alone, and there's others, right? Southside, and he started telling me that the players that he was hearing were involved was Orlando Anderson and about the chain attempted to be snatched, right? Now, this is how we know that allegedly Pork Butt is involved in the orchestrated of the murder or assassination of Tupac Shakur, allegedly, because his stories don't add up. None of it adds up, and I keep catching the inconsistency, right? But, you know, this is why they be laughing at a brother. You know what I mean? Check this out.
Knew about that or heard about that. No one contacted me. Why? Because they feel good. Those niggas feel comfortable. They had 20.
They all felt good that somebody got shot.
How did you call so fast after the shooting? If nobody, like, when you were
felt good.
You called it, I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Baby, I didn't know until I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to Suge and stuff where they went down.
Do I got him, y'all? Do I got him? Do I got him? Do I got him? This is what I don't understand about Las Vegas Metro Police Department prosecutors. How don't they see this? I hope KVD attorney is watching. Because this, if Reggie had nothing to do with this goddamn assassination, why is his story so inconsistent? Why is he lying on his father and say he never called his father and told him that it was Orlando? I just proved to you his father was saying it out his mouth on 2 different occasions. Reggie called him immediately. So when I told Kimmy Love to act, OG Patrice, she was supposed to say, because I told her to ask him these questions. She was supposed to say, how did you know so fast to call your father? She couldn't remember, and I am not going to fault her for it, right? But this is why you write things down. But she was supposed to say, how did you know so fast to call your father and tell him that it was Southside, right? But it doesn't even matter, because as you can see right here, his story isn't consistent with what he said, what his father said, and what he said on Seaside, right? And y'all can go pull up that transcript or go look at that video. Matter of fact, I'll even drop a link for y'all to read the transcript.
You called it. I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Baby, I didn't know until I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to.
You said, hey, no, to everybody, you got your commercial, everybody cried. But you see how he keep looking off to the side like I told y'all? He's lying again.
Do about that or heard about that? No one's contacted me. Why? Because they feel good. Those niggas feel comfortable. They had 20.
Reggie,
they all felt good that somebody got shot.
How did you call so fast after the shooting? If nobody when you
they all felt good.
You called it. I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Baby, I didn't know until I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to Suge and stuff where they went down. I didn't know until Neckbone and Buntry came running up to me at the club inside of the nightclub and said, "Reg, Tupac and Suge just got shot down the street."
So when did he know? First, he didn't know until he got to the hospital. Now, Neckbone and Buntry, like I told y'all, just like I told y'all, he said Neckbone and Buntry went to the club and told him, yo, Tupac and Suge just got shot. Neckbone, where did Neckbone say that at on Vlad? Where did Neckbone say that at on the crack? Or did they not, want to ask that question, right? So now Buntry and Neckbone went to the club and called and told Reggie that Suge and Pac got shot. He's lying. You know how you know he's lying? Go listen to Neckbone's story. Neckbone said he jumped out the car, whatever, and then after that he followed Suge and them to Las Vegas Boulevard where they got jacked up and the Outlaws and everything was out there. Buntry chased the Cadillac in the Toyota Supra, allegedly. So how did Buntry and Neckbone get together and go to 662 and tell Reggie what happened? I'll wait. If Neckbone went up to Las Vegas Boulevard with Suge in him, and Buntry chased the Cadillac, how did Buntry and Neckbone link back up together and go to Club 662 to tell Reggie? And Reggie, Michael Moore, and George Calisis jumped in the car and went straight to the goddamn hospital. Why are you going straight to the hospital when they still up on Las Vegas Boulevard? They said that the Outlaws said they was up on Las Vegas Boulevard for at least an hour. Suge and Pac was jacked up over there. They get him in the ambulance and all that stuff. Took a minute. So if they all up the street, how did Neckbone and Buntry come together and tell you? How would they know what hospital they went to? See, Reggie, you keep talking, but I can't wait for you to get on the stand, brother, because that's when it matters. You two don't matter. Your inconsistency and you purging yourself is what I'm looking forward to.
I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to Suge and stuff where they went down. I didn't know until Neckbone and Buntry came running up to me at the club inside of the nightclub and said, "Reg, Tupac and Suge just got shot down the street." And I'm seeing Vegas PD taking off from the club because they were working there as well and going to that scene.
Hold that
so that's the earliest I know.
Hold that thought for a minute. Didn't they say that Buntry gave chase to the white Cadillac and was shooting at the white Cadillac, and that Buntry gave chase? How is that physically possible for him to be in two locations at once? Where I guess he just gave up on chasing the white Cadillac and shooting it out, and then he went to the club?
Wait, so Buntry ain't see the guy you say he caught a ride with, or Michael Moore and didn't run into Buntry when they came to the club and told him that?
Funny how Michael Moore never said that.
Exactly. He's lying. He's fucking lying, bro. He's lying. Wait, did you find out when you went to the hospital and
Or
went to
did Buntry tell
emergency and
you?
talked to Suge, or did you find out when
Man,
Buntry and Neckbone came and told you? You just
Right.
told two different ways. You found out in one sentence, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's true.
He's lying.
You roll it.
Porky, I don't even know why you play with me. Just because the prosecutors may be not as street savvy as some of us to know that you had some involvement in this allegedly, but you got the wrong person, brother. You got the wrong person, because I see it clearly you were involved in this allegedly.
At the MGM. I had
Man, you
never
go back 200
knew
years.
about that or heard about that. No one contacted me. Why? Because they
But-
feel
but-
good. Those
but
niggas
you-
feel comfortable. They had
But
20.
Reggie,
They felt
Go
good
ahead.
about that MGM
how did
fight.
you call
They felt
so
good
fast
about all
after the
that.
shooting? If nobody, like, when you
Call
were,
who?
you called it, I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Baby, I didn't know until I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to Suge and stuff where that went down. I didn't know until Neckbone and Buntry came running up to me at the club, inside of the nightclub, and said, "Reg, Tupac and Suge just got shot down the street." And I'm seeing Vegas PD taking off from the club because they were working there as well and going to that scene. So that's the earliest I know. And for me to know who the players were, I didn't know that until I get to the hospital and
I
talking
was
to people.
reminded
And
that
they
he
telling me,
told
"Hey,
Trayvon, he said
we just got
Trayvon
into a
Lane
fight.
told
We
him
got
that. I'm reminded that he said.
Now, RJ Braun is right. He did say that Trayvon told him that, right? But didn't Reggie just say last week, I just showed you the transcripts, that he did not know the players involved until Brennan and Ladd went to Vegas and looked at the video and identified Orlando Anderson? Did he or did not just say that last week? He did not know who the players were until Brennan went into Las Vegas and looked at the surveillance video and said, "Oh, that's Orlando Anderson." Right? Did he or did he not? Or do I do it? Y'all want me to show y'all? Because I could show you again. Let me show you again. I'm just going to show you again. Now look, this is how you know he's guilty, bro. This is how you know he's guilty. Look, right here he said, right? He said, we knew who he was from Compton. But wait, let me go back a little bit. So Orlando Anderson and Southside Crips are dudes that tried to take the chain from that Trayvon Lane or something like that. That's what Orlando, that's what Orlando, man. Nobody knew Orlando Anderson, who Orlando Anderson was. And or we knew him from Compton, but that was one of the ones we didn't know that was one of the ones in the car until he was identified by Brennan when he went up to Las Vegas when he went up to Vegas and identified Orlando on the tape as the one getting beat up. So that's when we started putting 2 and 2 together. We knew it was guys from Compton, Southside, Crips that they got into it with, but we didn't know the names until they start seeing faces. So when people always say Reggie knew and Reggie didn't know who it was, who that was, it was Orlando in the car or Keefe in the car or Bubble Up or whatever. That didn't happen until later, right? Now, he said he didn't know until Brennan and went, right? Y'all heard him, right? He didn't know until Brennan and went up to Vegas and identified Orlando by looking at the video. Now here he says he didn't know until when? At the hospital, right? But he still spoke to his father before he got to the hospital and told
and going to that scene. So that's the earliest I know. And for me to know who the players were, I didn't know that until I get to the hospital and talking to people.
Reminded that
and they telling me, hey,
he said
we just got into a fight with that.
I'm reminded that he said that Trayvon Lane told him that. So you got another version of the story.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, no. Shout out to hold on.
Wait, somebody just sent you.
Shout out to Blue Gold. Yeah, shout out to Blue Gold. Blue Gold said he told Trayvon Lane. He said Trayvon Lane told him about the shooting, that a shooting happened.
Okay, I see it right there.
Yeah. So now you got. Now what is it?
3 stories.
Pick your player. Yeah. Pick your story.
I keep telling you, Reggie allegedly got Tupac and Suge shot the fuck up, y'all. I'm telling y'all, man. This nigga lies do not add up, bro. So make sure y'all go check out that new episode of Suge Knight Collect Calls. Okay? Now, I'm not even done. I'm not done. Let me give y'all a little dessert, right? Let me give y'all a little dessert. Now, when Trayvon Lane and Reggie was beefing, right? And John and Reggie was beefing. John put up a post of Trayvon, a text message of Trayvon's going at it with Reggie, right? And look what Trayvon puts in the message. And you know, I wouldn't even be on Reggie ass like this, pause. If this nigga ain't sit there and try to lie and call me a snitch and all stuff, nigga, you are the federal informant, right? Now look right here. On this joint, as you can see, Trayvon Lane is texting. You see the T, John tried to scratch his name off, right? You see the T there for Trayvon Lane. This was December 2nd. What year was this? Say maybe 2 years ago. They was beefing, right? This is when Reggie came out and told everybody that Trayvon Lane was originally from Long Beach, and he was a Long Beach Crip, right? So John was mad at Reggie, so he started sharing these texts, right? So right here, he says, John says, I just put y'all in the group text together, right? And Reggie says, sure, you should warn him of that something, blank, something wants to keep arguing over nonsense, right? Then Trayvon Lane chimes in, he say, nope, tell him I said, I was just playing, ha, right? And then John hits back and said, he said it's all good, right? And then Trayvon Lane says, John, you heard of Cinder, it's supposed to be Cinderfella. You heard of Cinderella Dana Dane? the BMW turned into a pumpkin at 12 o'clock. Right? Now, what do you I know I got the most intelligent audience in YouTube, right? If Trayvon Lane is threatening Reggie, or allegedly they threatening him, and allegedly they beefing back and forth, right? If Trayvon, who was there when Tupac got killed, sends John a text message and says, John, you heard the Cinderella Dana Dane? That's Cinderella Dana Dane is a remake of the Cinderella story that the rapper Dana Dane made. And he tells the story, he just, instead of the royal coach turning back to a pumpkin, Dana Dane's BMW turns back into a pumpkin. Right? So what Trayvon Lane to me is insinuating is like the truth is about to come out. Like the BMW is about to turn back to a pumpkin, right? So he's insinuating, in my opinion, that Reggie, the jig is up. Like, nigga, you busted. You about to go down for Tupac. Like, the royal coach is getting ready to turn back to a pumpkin, nigga. The truth is about to come, right? In my opinion, that's what he's saying. You can tell me what you get from it. If him and Reggie's beefing and Reggie's up there threatening him on YouTube, right? And he sends this text and says, John, you're the Cinderella Dana Dane. John wasn't in Vegas. John wasn't at Death Row when Tupac got killed. So what is he insinuating when he's saying the BMW turned into a pumpkin at 12 o'clock? What do y'all think? So now that you see that Reggie's story is very inconsistent, very, very inconsistent, and you've seen that his father said on several occasions that he told him that Orlando did it before there was a conviction, there was a suspect, before Brennan and Ladd got to Vegas. Reggie already knew. And Reggie said first he knew because Buntry and Neckbone came and told him. Then he knew because the people at the hospital. Then he knew because Suge, Suge told him in the emergency. Like, which one is it, brother? Which one is it? But hopefully Vegas will get smart and start listening to what Keefy D is telling them. You know what I mean? But until then, they're going to keep straight laughing at a brother. I remember when they used to laugh at a brother. They still laughing, nigga. They still laughing. Niggas is some jealous ass niggas out here in this YouTube universe, boy. It is ugly. But joke no joke. You already know. And it's only right for the people that just got tuned in, that came in, that y'all listen to what Suge said. Don't listen to what these people say. You know, Suge is the one that told us if you solve one, you solve them both. Suge is the one that told us it was the crooked police. Suge is the one that told us that Sharita, Rafael Perez, and Reggie Wright Jr. are great friends, and they was plotting. Why do y'all listen to the Dirty Pig?